The night that was supposed to be one of the happiest celebrations of my life turned into the most humiliating and heartbreaking moment I had ever experienced. It was our 10th wedding anniversary. 10 years of memories, struggles, victories, laughter, and sacrifices. I had planned everything so carefully, a grand party at a beautiful banquet hall, surrounded by our closest friends, family, and colleagues. I wanted to honor the years we had spent together and remind him how far we had come. But I never imagined that the man I loved, the man I thought was my partner for life, would shatter my heart so brazenly in front of everyone. The evening began beautifully. Guests arrived in elegant dresses and sharp suits, the room was filled with soft golden lights, and the band played our favorite romantic songs. I wore a silver gown that shimmered under the lights, and when I caught my husband, Daniel, staring at me with what seemed like pride, I thought my heart might burst with happiness. For a moment, I truly believed we were the picture of a perfect couple. But then she walked in. A tall, striking woman in a red dress that clung to her like fire. I didn't know her, but something inside me stirred with unease. The way Daniel's eyes lit up when he saw her, the way he excused himself from our side and went to greet her, it was like watching a piece of my soul crack. Still, I brushed it off, telling myself I was being paranoid. Surely, my husband wouldn't disrespect me tonight of all nights. But my worst fears became reality. When the music shifted to a slow, romantic tune, Daniel turned not to me, his wife of 10 years, but to her. He took her hand and led her to the dance floor. At first, I thought maybe she was a distant cousin, a family friend, someone who didn't know the significance of this night. But the way they moved together, his hand pressed intimately against her back, their laughter too familiar, the stolen glances, they weren't strangers. They weren't even friends. They were lovers. The whispers began. Guests exchanged knowing looks. Some avoided my eyes altogether, while others stared at me with pity. My cheeks burned, but I sat there frozen, my chest tight, my eyes locked on the man I had trusted for a decade. He wasn't just dancing with her. He was flaunting her, as if I didn't matter. As if our vows, our history, our life together were nothing. Tears stung my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. Not there. Not in front of everyone. I held my head high, even though inside, I was breaking into 1,000 pieces. When the song ended, I excused myself and slipped outside, my hands trembling as I clutched my dress. That night, when the party was finally over, Daniel came home late, later than me. He smelled of her perfume, and his shirt was slightly rumpled. He didn't even try to hide it anymore. "Why are you making that face?" he snapped when he found me sitting silently on the couch. "Don't ruin the night with your dramatics. It was just a dance. Just a dance," I whispered, my voice shaking. "On our anniversary. With her. In front of everyone." He shrugged, his arrogance sharp enough to cut through me. "If you're that insecure, maybe that's your problem, not mine." That was the moment something inside me shifted. For years, I had been patient, forgiving, loyal. I had carried the weight of our marriage, supported him through job losses, celebrated his wins, built a home for us, and sacrificed so much of myself for our life together. But his blatant betrayal wasn't just disrespect, it was cruelty. And I realized then, I wasn't going to let him destroy me anymore. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I didn't beg him to stay. Instead, I stood, walked to the bedroom, and locked the door. While he slept on the couch, I gathered my strength and made a decision. By morning, my husband would no longer be my burden. At dawn, I quietly packed his belongings into suitcases, every shirt, every tie, every shoe. I set them neatly by the door. I called a locksmith and changed the locks before he even woke up. When he finally stirred, groggy and confused, he found himself shut out of the house he had once called his own. He banged on the door. "What the hell is this, Anna? Open the door." Through the window, I looked him in the eye. My voice was calm, steady, stronger than I ever thought it could be. "You made your choice last night, Daniel. You chose her. Now you can have her. But you will not have me, my home, or my dignity anymore." He shouted, cursed, tried to guilt me, even begged. But I didn't waver. For the first time in years, I felt powerful. He had stripped me of my pride in front of the world, but I had taken back my self-respect. Word spread quickly among our family and friends. Many who had pitied me at the party now applauded me for my courage. Some even confessed they had suspected his affair long before but hadn't known how to tell me. It hurt to realize how blind I had been, but it also healed me to know I wasn't crazy. I had trusted my heart too long, and it had led me astray. The first nights alone were difficult. I cried, I grieved, I questioned everything. But slowly, I began to rediscover myself. I threw myself into my passions, reconnected with old friends, traveled, and built a life that was mine, not defined by being someone's wife but by being Anna. Strong, resilient, and free. As for Daniel, his mistress didn't stay long. The illusion of passion faded quickly when reality set in. He tried to come back, tried to apologize, tried to convince me that we could fix things. But by then, I had learned the most important lesson of my life. Sometimes, losing someone is the best gift they could ever give you. My story isn't about betrayal, it's about reclaiming power. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to accept less than you deserve. And so, on the anniversary of that disastrous night, I no longer cry. I celebrate, not the marriage I lost, but the strength I gained. My husband danced with his mistress at our wedding anniversary, but by morning, he was homeless. And I was finally free.